Perhaps we should have had these in advance.
I think it makes us think about women that have come before, especially grandma and things like that, where women weren't as recognized, and part of being part of the legacy of how she worked side by side with grandpa.
That reminds me of Grandma telling stories of when she would have to go down when they just had a roadside fruit stand. They were the only workforce, and so Grandpa would go in the morning, and then she would have to go and work in the afternoon while Grandpa went home because he got up super early, would take a nap, eat lunch, and then come back and go to work and relieve Grandma. So it was both of them, and so it was very much a partnership. I mean, she was integral in allowing the business to start.
Which I think in and of itself is historical for that time. In the 50s, that wasn't a popular thing to do.
Not to work outside the home. There were a lot of farm wives that worked very hard with their husbands, but work okay outside the home. It's unusual. Jack gave me a choice after we had our fourth child. You can either raise berries or you can raise nursery stock. Nursery stock it was. I had picked berries and I did not want to have anything to do with berries.
Yeah, and so I don't know how much of the story's been told, but as we were growing up, we had our own small nursery where we propagated and grew plants to sell to other nurseries in the area, and Mom ran the crew, which the crew was the four of us. And Mom was a crew chief. Dad would tell us, line us out, and then as soon as he left, Mom would re-line us out, and then we'd get our work done.
And Mom would have the unenviable task of making sure that we all worked and that we got along and that the rows were straight.
And then if an airplane flew over, we would see straight rows, not crooked rows.
But I think it originated, after Mark was born, Dad gave you that choice, but I think before that you had made a conscious choice that you gave up your career to work with us in Vietnam.
And it was a choice, and it was a great choice.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if Dad raised us all? I think at the time it didn't seem like it was fun. At the time it was work and it's just what we had to do, but it's not like we didn't get along, but it wasn't like we thought it was super fun. But looking back on it, I think we all certainly appreciate it. We learned how to work together. We're all still very, very close. We all live in the same area. All of our families are close. I think it's all because of that. We just grew up together. We went through the same things together. We all had to sacrifice our spring breaks together, and misery loves company, and so we all, we couldn't go off with our friends to do things because we were working, but we were all working together.
Well, and as it got later in the summers, we became our best friends because we would go to work and then get off in the afternoon and then hit the river. So we were the spotters and we were the drivers and we were the skiers.
And they got their own boat.
And and working gave us something in common, so we could buy our boat and buy things because everything was pulled together. I think it helped us maintain the value stream to have all the same values, and it helps us today. We know each other's weaknesses and strengths, and we kind of move and cover as it goes. I think it makes it fun.
I think marrying into the family and not being here back then, we still benefited from the example from Jack and Dee, and it has been really neat to see that continue on with our kids. And all of our kids actually working together, not just as siblings, but as cousins. All of our kids have worked together in the nursery, and it's been really neat as they have grown up and really started appreciating that experience and the opportunity to do that. it's been fun to hear them talk just about their experiences and how much they have enjoyed working together and getting to know each other.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. It's definitely been like I have more siblings than I have cousins because I feel like I can talk to them about anything just because we have that like past work experience in common. We know how to pick weeds, we know how to break gravel and move plants and everything. And I think that working together is such like a strong bond that I don't necessarily consider them cousins because like I could go to them for anything. They're more like siblings, and that's the type of relationship that we have. And we can joke around and have fun, but they're like built-in friends as well.
Yeah, I do, and honestly, I think it all stems from mom. You know, mom and dad, and I mean that's how we grew up, is working together. And she taught us how to make it work and everyone to get along. And I think we have all learned from that. Dorothy and Darcy and our other sister Tracy and myself have all learned from that example and tried to share that with our kids. And I think, you know, watching them work, it's together, it's rewarding because it's kind of the fruits of all those labors. You know, we can relate because that's how mom showed us how to do it. So right now, we'll start with the oldest and go to the youngest.
Right now, I oversee the accounting office, and so I'm talking to the baker on a daily basis and trying to balance the books and make sure that we are good to go moving forward, have a plan to make this business as much of a family affair and ongoing as we can.
So in other words, she's the CFO.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. Oh, title.
I oversee the growing greenhouses. So I have a lot of really good people that work for me that do a lot of planning and they have a lot of knowledge about plants and propagation and fertility and all of those things. And so I oversee that and I make sure that the stores have things to sell.
And I oversee the retail portion, so we have a great team at the retail end that all work together and make sure that the wonderful plants that we grow out here get into the stores and out through the doors to all of our customers.
I work in the wholesale and fundraising area out at the farm where we grow everything. Work with customers through that.
Great. Right now I'm working in the marketing department and I'm the assistant to the COO, the SACU. Yeah.
Special assistant.
Special assistant, sorry. Yeah, I'm very special.
I have no real responsibility, but
She's being modest. She has a very large responsibility, and it's called Dad. Dad is always around, and Mom makes sure she keeps him in line.
And she still does the football basket.
She does the
She has
football
her hand in
basket.
it.
yeah, she does that.
And a big part that people don't know is she is our test garden. If you look around this yard, she tries anything Dad wants her to try, anything I want her to try, she'll plant and then she'll tell us, yeah, no, not so much, and or, hey, that's a great thing to do that. So all of this yard she does, aside from the pruning, she maintains all of that and plants it all herself. And so she is I would say she's our chief tester.
She also does a lot of original mixes that we'll steal from. She likes mixing colors, and so a lot of the hanging baskets you see are actually inspired by mixes that she's tried out in the yard and plants that have worked together that we've taken and run with.
Her containers too. She has beautiful pots and annual beds that just pop with color. Let's start youngest.
Annie?
No, I did not always plan to be in the family business, but when I was at school, I found a lot of things related back to like my past experiences in the nursery, or like I found I just related more to like plant stuff or on the business side of things, family owned, all that stuff. So I found that was kind of a calling that just like it led me to continuing on as fourth generation, and a supply for, be honest, a good supply for your house plant. Oh yeah, that too. I have a pretty substantial plant. Yeah.
Amy, was it your intention when we first met to become part of the business?
Not exactly. Yeah, I knew nothing about plants before we met. But yeah, I think Darcy said, why don't you just try it out for spring? I was kind of in between jobs after we graduated from college and got married, and I tried it out, and I just never left. 25 years later. So I love it. I feel super fortunate to be able to work in the business and be a part of it, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm probably the only one in the family that really intended or foresaw myself being in the business. I remember in high school, I don't know why. I mean, it's just always what we did, and it's what Dad did, and I always went to work with Dad, and it was always fun. I just always imagined myself doing it. I remember in high school taking one of those aptitude tests where, you try and figure out what your career is going to be, and I remember answering the questions to try and get it to say nurseryman. It didn't quite work out. I think it said garbage man, but I just that's what I went to school for. I've always loved plants, and I've just appreciated the business and working with Dad, and so I just always kind of claimed to.
That's up. You wanted to sit in Grandpa's chair and put your feet up on the desk.
Yeah, I saw Dad do that a lot, and I thought that was
I don't know if you can still do that. I did not. So I am a educator by degree, I guess. And I came back I followed Mom's footsteps, sort of. I came back so that I could be at home with my kids. So it started, I ran one of our small greenhouses that's out in Sherwood. I took the kids and we ran that, and we grew things that the store needed. And then when my kids were at school, I came out here during the days while they were at school. And that's how I kind of got back into it. But it was definitely more of a following my mother's footsteps in that I wanted to be able to be home with my kids. And this was the only way that I could figure out how to do that. And then it evolved from there. And yeah, they couldn't get rid of me after that.
It is evolved as we evolved.
Yeah.
So, and I went down to LA after I graduated from Oregon State and spent 3.5 years down there. And when I moved home, it was with the intent of finding a job. And as I was looking for a job, we happened to need help at Owls. And so it was about a 6-month job through spring. And by the time there was another job around that would have fit what I had done before, I was hooked. So there wasn't any way I could leave the family business at that point. You were done. I think we just do it. I don't think there's anything to prove, to be honest. I think we just do the best that we can do, and we do it more as a family. We have common goals and what we want, and how we want to treat our employees and what we want for them, and I think we just do it. And there's, we are who we are, I guess. Fortunately, we're independent enough that it doesn't matter, male or female, for us. That we just kind of are doing what we do.
We have a lot of incredible women and men, but I think we have incredible women that work for us. And it has been really amazing to see just people who have been here longer than me, over 25 years, and they are great people to be around. They are always smiling, they're always helpful, and they've been here as longer than I've been here. So I think we are super blessed to have amazing people that work with us.
I mean, to me, I grew up with three sisters, and so I didn't know any different. You know, it's not.
You were so lucky. Come on.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say I wasn't.
I was so lucky.
Yeah,
I benefited from it.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. We just didn't know any different, and it's just the way our business has grown. There's been amazing people that have come through and really helped us get to where we are.
Nursery people are incredible people. I mean, so many of them are all family owned. And they are colleagues, friends. They're in the business creates incredible people. Anytime you're working with God, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I do enjoy about our industry is I don't think it really matters if you're a male or female. There are some. I've had the fortunate opportunity to work with the Oregon Association of Nurseries, where it's a statewide organization, and I've gone through some of the leadership in that organization, and some of our strongest leaders have been women, and it's great. The whole organization, and I think it speaks to the industry, is just totally accepting. They don't see male female. They see strong people who are leaders, and I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful industry to be in because of that.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.